Welcome everyone to this very special webinar training. So pleased and happy that you have decided to take time out of your very busy day to watch and to educate and to make yourself and business better. Because here's the truth of the matter. If you are in business today, if you are trying to make a living or build a side business or build your authorship business or your coaching or your training business, whatever it is you're trying to do, if you don't have an effective web presence, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. You're almost sunk before you start. And I know because I talk to many of you daily, either in person or in social media in some way. There's a touch point, and I hear over and over and over again the frustration and the problems that you have with dealing with your own website, getting up a website that is effective, that it works for you, or even getting one up in the first instance, okay? And that's one of the reasons why for several years now I keep asking my good friend ChristinaHills back to teach on this very subject. We usually do this right now in the month of January, just to kind of get folks off on the right foot. In today's presentation, we're actually going to take and show you how to easily create a beautiful website in WordPress, even if you hate technology, which I think probably describes many of you here today. Maybe hate's a strong word, but strongly dislike, have a strong skepticism with, whatever. But I'll just tell you that Christina is, well, first off, I wanted to kind of let you know that she is a mentor of mine. Back when I first started in this business many years ago, I turned to Christina's programs myself to help me learn, and at that point it was my shopping cart, one shopping cart, and Christina had the best program on the market with regard to working with that program, and I'm so glad that I bought that because it really helped me and it made me money over time. But the key thing for you is she is really good at the technical aspects, which is great, but more importantly, she's great at communicating what it is you need to do to sort of follow along and to get the same sorts of results. Now, Christina has been in business for many years herself, online and doing coachings and trainings much like this, but even before that, Christina was involved in the entertainment business. She actually worked for Industrial Light and Magic. That's George Lucas's film. She has feature film credits on her credits on her IMDb, or the Internet Movie Database, including Star Wars and many other films. So with that, Christina, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Daniel, for that great introduction. And I have lots of images, lots of visuals, and I'll be doing some demos too, so I'm just going to go ahead and just jump right in. So first off, I want to know, does any of this sound familiar? You tried to set up a website once and got completely confused. You thought of hiring a web designer but stopped when you saw the price. Or you tried to teach yourself WordPress, but you found the online videos and articles totally overwhelming. And if this sounds familiar to you, you can just go ahead and type in the chat if you had, and I see one person has said yes, they had gotten confused, or, I know a lot of people come to me because they work with web designers and the price just keeps going and going and going for them. Anyway, my name is ChristinaHills. I am your WordPress coach and trainer. And Daniel, it's 10 years. 2017 is marking 10 years I've been teaching WordPress. So for 10 years, I've taught more than 2,500 coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, and business owners how to quickly and easily create a website with WordPress. And I have taught people from all over the globe. As we've seen here today, there's many people all over the world listening in, and all kinds of people. So if you could just type in the chat, are you an author? Are you a coach? Are you a consultant? Are you an artist, a freelancer? Just type in the chat. Let's see, we got consultant, author, writer. Mike says, I am just me. Speaker, novelist, poet, podcaster, all different types of folks. Well, I want you to know that I was not trained as a graphic designer, a traditional graphic designer, but my background is in visual effects. I was a visual effects artist, and the most famous films that I worked on was Star Wars, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park. And here is a screenshot from Star Wars. That was episode 1. Not the one that came out in the 70s, but the one that came out in the mid-90s. It was a fabulous career. I really, really loved it. But then my daughter Maggie was born, and I decided to focus on my family, and I became an online entrepreneur. So I want to make sure you've got a pen and paper so that you can take notes today as we go through, and then jot down questions that you might have as we go through today's training. So first I want to start out with why you need to be able to build your own websites. So this has been my mantra, is that people should be able to build their sites themselves. And here's the thing. You must be able to quickly and easily create, grow, and update your websites, because your number one job is to sell products and services to new and current customers. Because without customers, you have no business. And let me read this quote from Dan Kennedy. It says, he says, the person who believes and says that he or she is not creative, not innovative, not good at marketing is most likely to fail in business. If you feel you have to give away responsibility for these functions to others, such as ad agencies, copywriters, artists, and consultants, you'll create a mammoth economic drain on your business. Because your website is the heart of your marketing today. Having an online business means you need to have a place where people can go and find out about your products and services, and your website is it. That's where all your efforts, all your social media, commenting and tweeting and posting on LinkedIn, the whole point is to lead people to your website. Because there's lots of parties going on all over the internet on all these different social media platforms, but your website is where you have your party. And it's super important to be able to do this yourself. But then, as your business grows, you'll know how to hire and manage others to do this work, because you're going to grow, your business is going to take off, that you'll bring on assistants. And if you know this basic key thing that you need to do on the internet, which is manage your WordPress website, you'll know how to hire it out as you grow. And then a successful online business enables you the lifestyle you desire. And I love being able to spend time with my daughter Maggie. This is why I became an entrepreneur, because I love the flexible hours. All right, I'm going to just keep going. Daniel, unless you have any comments.
No, I mean, exactly. This is one of the reasons why we all do it, I think, is that have the ability, and that website is sort of that storefront that's open 24/7 and available in many cases to take orders or to make money for you. And that's why it's got to be right, which is the reason why you're here.
Right. And you've got the speed to making changes is key. All right, let me keep going and dive into why WordPress. So WordPress is used by major Fortune 500 companies such as Vogue, Coca-Cola Life, Sony Music. There are lots and lots of companies that are using WordPress. And this is what's great about it. It is a system that works for small entrepreneurs. Maybe you've just quit your job, or you want to quit your job and you want to start your own business, or maybe you've been in business for a little while and you're a one-man band or one-woman band, but then you can grow and your business can grow and you're never gonna outgrow WordPress. You know, if it's good enough for the New York Times and CNN and Forbes, it's good enough for me, which means I'll never have to switch systems. You'll be able to stay in the same system. And over 20% of the internet is using WordPress. So actually it's more than 23.3% of the top 10 million websites as of January 2015 are using WordPress. So you are in good hands with WordPress. Now, I always get this question, and so I want to address it here at the beginning. Which kind of WordPress? Am I talking about WordPress.com or WordPress.org? WordPress.org is what I recommend. It is the self-hosted version of WordPress. With the self-hosted version of WordPress, you can sell products and services any kind. You can make any kind of website. You've got unlimited choice of theme designs, and you can have plugins. WordPress.com has limitations. They restrict what you can sell. It's best for blogging only. It's best for hobbyists. You've got a limited choice of themes, and you are not allowed to use any plugins, and I will explain later what plugins are. Bottom line on WordPress, the WordPress.org version, the self-hosted, gives you full control, and it comes free with your web hosting account. WordPress.com is limited. They limit your selling, good for online diaries. Notice the logo. They are both the same company, so the same corporate company. They're just two different versions. And here's another thing I just want to demystify and clarify. Self-hosted WordPress, you do not have to have a .org domain name. You can have any domain name. So ChristinaHills.com, websitecreationworkshop.com, DanielHallpresents.com. You can have any domain name. So don't let that little thing trip you up. All right, so I'm going to jump into number 3. So what is your website? And this might seem kind of simplistic to some people listening, but for others, light bulbs will be going off. All right, you want to think about your website as being your home, and your home has an address. So your domainname.com, that is the address of your house or your home. So if you just go out to GoDaddy and just buy a domain name, you've got a domain name, but you don't have a website yet. And I like to explain this because sometimes people get the two things confused. So once you have your domain name, you've got your web hosting, you've hooked them up together, now when someone types in your domain name, they'll get to your website. And your website is made of pages and blog posts. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get out of PowerPoint and I'm going to go over to the internet and I am going to demonstrate creating a page. So let me go over here. All right, so you should be able to see this. I'm on the internet and I have WordPress already installed. So think of this like the cooking show, right? You you haven't necessarily seen them make the dough. You're seeing them roll it out and put it into the pie crust. So I already have WordPress installed. What I want to demonstrate is how to make a page. And you let me know if I am going too fast, because I can slow down, because I can see the comments as I go along. So this is the outside of WordPress, but because I'm logged in, I see this black toolbar at the top that shows me that I am logged in. And I'm going to come into the dashboard. And we're not going to demonstrate installing WordPress today. And the reason why is I want you to stay focused on what you need to know as an entrepreneur business owner. You don't install WordPress every day, but you are putting up pages and you're writing blog posts. That's something you're doing on a frequent basis. So that's what you need to know as a business owner. So I'm going to come over to Pages, and I can see a bunch of pages I've already created. This is inside my administrative area, and I want to create a new page. So over here on Pages, you see Add New. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to make my About Us. About Us. So this is my About Us page. And I'll just click Publish. So just real simple. I put the headline in, I put some words in, and now I'm going to view this, and here this is my About Us page. I'm not going to worry about the design or anything. I'm just focusing on creating this page. All right, so I want to edit this now. I can use this little edit link, but I like to be in the habit of looking up at this top toolbar. So I'm going to edit this page now. And in case you joined us late, what I'm doing is I'm demonstrating creating a page. So I'm going to edit this, and I am going to put in some copy. So I'm going to get some copy from Microsoft Word. And this call today is perfect for the person who doesn't have a website, who doesn't even know where to begin, or people who've paid somebody else to put their website together, but they don't know how to run or control it. All right, so let me come over to my Word doc, and I'm going to copy this. Let me minimize this, and it's not there. I want to come over here, and I'm going to paste this in. And in a minute, I'll show about adding a picture. And I'm going to click Update. And then I've clicked Update over here, and now I'm going to view the page. So the key thing is when you've got a WordPress site and you need to make changes, maybe you want to update your bio or change a paragraph or remove something or fix a typo. When you're working with a web developer, you've got to type it up in the email, send it to them, have them send it back to you, all that back and forth and back and forth. It wastes a lot of time and costs you a bunch of money. Let me just do one more thing, and we'll be doing more demos today. And I want to get back to my PowerPoint. I'm going to click on Add Media because I want to add a photo. So I'm going to click on Add Media. This is my media library. These are images I had already uploaded before. So I could select from one of these, or I can come to Upload Files, and I can pick one from my computer. So here's a headshot of me, and I'll say Insert into Page, and it has inserted it in, and I click Update. And now I click View Page. So I created a page, I added my copy, I put my picture in, and I am good to go. So you see how once you know the steps, how easy it is to do this? You can do this yourself, and it's very empowering. And also, I know there's a lot of writers listening here. You know, a writer doesn't just write once and then go away and it's done. A writer works on something, comes back later, sleeps on it, has a brilliant idea at midnight on a Friday night, and so you want to be able to have that flexibility. Okay, I think I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint and keep going. So let me click from current slide. So I want to add some, I know people will have questions, and we're going to take questions at the end, but here's some common questions. Can I add my own pictures? Yes, you can add your own pictures to your WordPress site. Do I need to use Microsoft Word? You do not. In this example, I did use it. Microsoft Word is very common, but you don't have to use Microsoft Word. You can just type directly in. Do I need Photoshop? For those of you who know Photoshop, you do not have to have Photoshop. And is WordPress a photo editing tool? You can do a little bit of photo editing in WordPress, but is not designed as a photo editing tool. All right, I'm going to keep going. All right, so I want to talk about design. I showed you the basics of creating a page. What I showed you today would also apply to a blog post, but let's move on to the design part of things. So people think they need a web designer to get a beautiful website. But with WordPress themes, it lets the non-designer create professional websites themselves. A WordPress theme is really a point-and-click way to a beautiful site. And a theme, that's the design, includes all the things you think of as being the design of your website. So attractive color combinations, professional looking fonts, nice menus and layouts for navigation, and here are some different layouts. I got another screen here. So pages have layouts that can be changed. So here is a diagram, and the top is the header graphic. This is then the top navigation, that's your menu of things. On the left is your content, and on the right is your sidebars. Now this is sort of a typical layout. You don't have to have this kind of design. There's lots of different ways you can lay out your site, but this is a pretty common one. So everything is nearly point and click, customizable by the non-technical person. You want to change a picture, you can do that. You want to add a page to your menu, you can do that. You want to try out a different theme, you can do that. You know, point and click and activate your new theme and everything changes. So here's an analogy I want to make about themes. Changing themes is like changing outfits. So here we have this gal, and she's going out and she's trying on these different kinds of dresses. So your website and your content, that's the gal here, and the different dresses are the different theme designs. So she's tried on these different kinds of dresses, and she's decided she likes this red party dress. So I am now going to go ahead and demo theme design and changing themes. So I'll get out of PowerPoint, and I'm back over here. I'm in Firefox, and I'm going to go into the theme area. Now this is the great thing about WordPress. Let me open this in a new tab. So I'm using Firefox. In this tab, I am looking at the back end, and on this tab, I'm looking at the outside. So inside WordPress, under Appearance Themes, this is where you can add different themes. And many themes are free. There's also paid themes. So you don't have to buy a theme. You can use a free theme from WordPress. So I'm going to show you a few different themes. One of the themes I like, let me activate this, is Pinboard. And let me open this in a new tab. So here's Pinboard. So if I come over here, see the welcome to my site and this photo here of the keyboard. This is the same content as this. But notice how it got a lot more modern looking. Let me go to another one. I'm going to activate a different theme now. So what I'm doing is I am activating different theme designs I have. You know, it's kind of like pulling the clothes out of your suitcase. So I'm trying on different themes. So, and I'm opening these in the new tab so I can see how my site looks with these different designs. And let me try this one. I'll activate this one. And I'm opening this in a new tab. Now, as long as I don't refresh the other ones, right, we can still see the older version. So this is the same website, but I'm changing theme designs. And when you get a theme, so this is a theme here, they come with some stock photography and you would just swap that out for your own pictures. So you wouldn't want to use this stock photography, you would want to use the pictures that apply to you. And I had previously uploaded this picture of the couple sitting on the beach. So as you can see, you get these very different feels for your site. So that's kind of like the different dresses. Now I've got one here that's really fun. I want to activate this. This is the 80s theme. Let's take a look at this. It's got this kind of 80s vibe. Now I want to take a little poll. If you could just type in the chat, did you love the 80s or did you hate the 80s? The 80s are very polarizing. Some people love the 80s, some people hated the 80s, some people loved the music, some people hated the music. I liked the clothes, I didn't like the hair, um, um, and I love the styles and the clothes, but the music is so-so, the hair I did not like. So so one woman's saying, I'm a mom of twins, so I don't remember the 80s. So we got a lot of love them, too busy, stand like the 70s better. I like the 70s a lot. Daniel, which did you like better, the 70s or the 80s?
Oh, there's no comparison. I came of age basically in the 80s. The 80s are lots of really great stuff happened to me in the 80s.
Yeah,
So I'm an
the
80s
80s.
guy.
The 80s were fun except for the hair. You know, for women
I don't
getting
mind the hair either. I loved it all. There's very little that I didn't like
left
about
it
the 80s,
all. That's funny. That's
especially the
funny.
music.
Yeah,
Still play it.
yeah. Some of the music I didn't like, but I don't know. I've got a warm heart for the 70s music, but the 80s were big and bold, and so look at what I've done here is I've taken this same site, right? We started out with it looking like this, and I put on this 80s theme, and all of a sudden, wow, you know, your site comes alive. And this is one of the key things when they were designing WordPress was to have the design of your website separate from your content so that you could change to these different styles of themes and you could have a very different look. So I am going to go back to my PowerPoint. I think I'll close down. Don't need that anymore. Let's go from current slide. And I want to answer some common questions about themes. You know, can I add my own pictures? Yes, you can add your own pictures. Can I change the standard pictures of a theme? And I had mentioned that themes will come with some pictures in them, and you can change that picture. Can I change the banner picture at the top of the page? Yes, that's something that you can do. Again, the designers just put a stand-in in. And if I change themes, do I lose my content? No, you will not lose your content. And where do I find WordPress themes? Well, the place to find free WordPress themes, or the place to browse WordPress themes, is inside your WordPress site, or you can go to wordpress.org. And if we have time at the end, I'll go back and I'll go in and I'll show you how to find themes inside of WordPress. What I had demoed today, I had already installed them inside. But here's a tip. Here's a writer downer. If you find a website you like and you want to know what theme are they using, just go to wpthemedetector.com, wpthemedetector.com, and type in the name of the site, and it will tell you exactly what theme is being used. So this is something I just keep in my handy toolkit, and when I see a nice site, I'm like, that looks cool. Let me see what it is. So that's a great place to go. All right, so I want to just talk about what is a plugin, and I'm just curious, no one will see, why don't you just type in the chat, do you know what a plugin is? I'll explain it anyway, but I just want to get an idea, and it's okay if you don't know what a plugin is. And so I got some yeses, I got some sort ofs, and a couple of no's. All right, great. Well, I will explain it. So this is a WordPress thing. So a plugin is kind of like, you know, you go to the dealership and you buy a car, right? And the car comes standard. But with plugins, so plugins are these extra pieces of software that you can add into WordPress to make it custom to you, right? So you take that same car and you jazz it up a bit. Maybe you add a turbo booster so it goes faster. You add chrome wheels, you add a sunroof, you add leather interiors. You know, both cars will get you there. They'll drive, they got an engine. But when you add plugins, it makes it special to you. So think of it also like your iPhone. So when you buy your iPhone or your Droid and then you add apps to it. So the iPhone still works or the Droid still works without the apps, but it just makes it custom to you. And everybody's going to have a different set of customizations they want for their site. All right, I want to show you some examples of my students' websites. I've got this transformational coach, Shannon Crossman, Lisa Michaels, who is a spiritual, she leads spiritual retreats. And I've got Susan Stengel, who is an author. And there are, I've taught a lot of authors. And here's the thing, listen up to all you authors who are listening, and you probably already know this. And I don't know if I ever told you this, Daniel, but my father was in publishing. He worked for Simon & Schuster for many years. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he did Seth Godin's first book, Permission Marketing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but anyway, in the old days, all you had to do was write a book and your publisher would market it for you. And those days are gone. If you're an author, you got to show your publisher, hey, I have a presence. I've got a website, I've got a following, I'm active. You've got to be able to market yourself these days, and having your own website is the way to do it. And it's too bad those old days are gone, but this is the way the world is now. You've got to be able to market yourself, and if you can't manage your own website, it's just going to be super costly. All right, I'm going to keep going, Daniel, unless you have any comments about that.
Not at all. Let's keep rolling.
Okay, and so I want to talk about a one-page design, and I'm going to show you an example of a one-page design. A one-page website design is a highly visual web page, full width. You can have videos and colors and styles for emphasis. The benefits of a one-page design is the visuals complement the copy. You get this high emotional impact, and then scrolling controls message focus. So notice on this screenshot, and I'm going to go to this web page, there are no sidebars, there's no menus, like going back to Suzanne, she's got a menu up at the top, and then Lisa has a menu at the top. Shannon she has a small menu, but let me just show you what a one-page design is, and I think I'll be able to demonstrate parallax as well. And just type in the chat, have you heard the term parallax? Have you heard the term? Do you know what it is? So we got a bunch of no's, some yeses. Okay, this is good. I'll be able to explain that. And Jamie says, I love being young, free, and healthy in the 80s. And some music was good and fun to listen to now, just a little bit reference back to the 80s. All right, let me come over here. And on that 80s theme, I can show this parallax thing. So notice as I scroll, the image is kind of moving with it. So let me go to Rolf Stengel. So Suzanne Stengel, she took my course. She's an author. She had such a good time with it that she built this website for her husband, who went on this long, big bicycle trip, and this is his blog. So notice when I scroll how this is like looking through a window. So see how we are scrolling past it like we're viewing through a window. This is called a parallax effect. I also have it over here. Let me go to the top. Now, this is a one-page design. This is my registration page, and you've got this mom and little girl playing in the snow, this video playing in the background, and as it moves now, this is not quite a parallax effect. It's sort of staying still, but it's very modern looking. But this is a parallax effect, and it's a little hard to show in the webinar, but we're going to come back to this later. But as I scroll, I'm kind of scrolling past, and then the image is showing up underneath. So that is a parallax effect. But notice on this web page, let me go back to the top, there's no menu and there's no sidebars. This is called a one-page design, very modern looking, and some people like parallax, some people don't like parallax. This is not parallax, the images just move, and thought I had another one. Yeah, this is also parallax. It's scrolling over. So you don't have to use parallax. It's something that you may want to do. All right, let me keep going. I got a lot more to cover here. So I want to talk about people using multiple devices. And you want to have a mobily responsive theme. That's the buzzword. Mobile responsive, or sometimes it's just called responsive, meaning the design of your website knows what kind of device you are on, and adjusts accordingly. That is what you want to have. When people come to your site on their phone or their mobile device and it is not responsive, you see tiny text, you got to pinch and zoom to see things, and it's just really cumbersome. And I'm just curious, do people use, so why don't you just type in the chat, do you view websites from your phone? Do you use your phone to scroll the internet? And I'd say yes. I think many people do. There's a few no's, but it's very common. What's the first thing, Daniel, what's the first thing that people do when they wake up in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They go to their phone.
they grab their phone. That's by their bedside.
Absolutely.
So you want to be mobile responsive. So here is that same site that I showed you. I took a screenshot of it on I think this is on my iPad. And the image and the text is responding to the device. And here's another screenshot of the images responding to the device. So they'll shrink in size, they will adjust, etc. So you want to make sure that whatever theme you're using, it's mobile responsive, because Google is ranking mobile sites higher if they are mobile friendly. So it's really important to Google, and so you want to make sure that you have that. So now here's the thing. Don't worry about it. There are lots of different mobile responsive themes, and if you have WordPress and you've got a theme that is not mobile responsive, you can use a couple of different plugins. WP Touch is one of them. That's one that I'm familiar with, and that will take your theme and make it mobile responsive in case it isn't. All right, so all of this I've been talking about, you don't have to be perfect to get started. Now let's talk a little bit about perfectionism and what stops people from succeeding. Oh, I can't start because I don't have a logo graphic, or I don't have a header graphic, or this is a common one from designers. They won't build your website until you have complete copy. So until you've written all of your articles, you've written all of your pages, they're not going to start until you have complete copy. That's very, very common, but that's just not how life works. As an entrepreneur, you're growing, you're changing, you're shifting. You know, you're updating your copy. Maybe not all the time, but you're always improving. And the other thing that stops people, so I know there's lots of people here who, you know, don't yet have a website. You know, in order to build a website, you have to come up with a domain name, right? What's the URL? You've got to go ahead and purchase one. Well, I want to let you know how I've solved all these problems, right? So this is the classic chicken and the egg problem. So which comes first? If you don't know how to use WordPress and you haven't decided on a URL on your domain name, right, how can you learn WordPress when you haven't chosen a URL? So if you don't have WordPress installed, like how can you learn it? Because here's the thing, you need to have WordPress in order to learn WordPress. Well, I came up with a simple solution for this. In my training with my students, I give all my students a student project website. So this is a practice website that my team installs for you. You don't have to buy web hosting. You don't have to have a domain name. Having this eliminates your biggest hurdle and lets you just jump in and go ahead and start learning WordPress without having everything all figured out. And this is great for people who've never had a site, or also for this gal Donna, she had a site, and I know it's a little bit tiny, but it was very clunky HTML site. Her hands were tied. She couldn't make any changes, and then she went from this to this site. So let me show you, to inspire you, some of the designs my students have made. So here's Kelly Cooper Slayton. She is a business coach. She helps people with their career transition. Vegelicious Kitchen. This is Deborah. She is a vegetarian cook, and she built this beautiful site. I've got another gal, Judith, who is a menopause coach. I got another coach. She's called the Current Coach, and notice how very different all of these sites are. It's another wellness coach. I've got a Feng Shui designer. You know, you don't want to like jump into something where everybody's making the same thing and it all looks the same. As you can see, all these sites are really reflecting people's personal style. So she's a Feng Shui consultant. Here's another health and wellness coach. I've got a tarot card reader, and this gal does she's a psychic artist. And my approach to teaching WordPress, and I've been doing this for 10 years, is so successful. I can take pretty much anybody who is a non-techie, and I walk you through step by step how to do this yourself. So let me show you an example of this gal, Veronica Marchese. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist, a life coach, and a speaker. And she works with individuals and couples. So let me show you her journey. So she signed up for my program, got her practice site, and put in her name and her little tagline. And you don't have to have a tagline if you don't have one. And then she started filling it in. She changed her tagline. She started writing up, what her services were. She added a picture of herself and more info and contact info on her sidebar. Then she started to play with color and, colored the background, started adding colors. She first tried out this one theme design. This is the one that I had shown you earlier with the beach chairs, and looked pretty good, but she settled on this design. And so here's her completed site and her completed domain name. So let me just, back here she had a practice area she was working in, and then we helped her move it over to her own home, and then she got a certificate. Well, she had so much fun, she built a second site, Wholeness and Holiness, Integrating Faith and Psychology. And here's a couple of different homepage views she was playing around with. And just think about this. If you can do this kind of work yourself, how much faster it is and how much money it saves you compared to working with others. So here's her comment. She says, I remember looking at WordPress.org versus WordPress.com before Christina's class and feeling overwhelmed. It was like reading a foreign language. I found Christina's class to be easy to follow, allowing me to move at my own pace and really learn how to do this on my own. I wholeheartedly believe the class delivered on everything it promised and was well worth the investment. So I want to show you how I go through the website creation workshop, because it's your fast pass to the treasure, and there's a little treasure map. So I start people out with an orientation. I always like to have an orientation, where are we and what are we doing? And then the way I teach WordPress, which is why I didn't show installing in the beginning, is I start with the thing you need to do a lot, and that's creating web pages and creating blog posts. You don't have to have a blog. I'm going to teach you how to do it. Some people want a blog, some people don't want a blog, some people want to add a blog later. Module 3 is your site organization, your strategy, your menus and sidebars. Module 4 is adding pictures and images. Module 5 is adding fun or functional plugins. Then Module 6 will play with that theme design like I showed you earlier with this different designs. Module 7 is backups and maintenance. And then Module 8 is I teach you how to install WordPress in your own hosting. And that's something that we do together. So in the course, as you step through the little modules and you do the assignments, we give you a little badge. So my course is not you're totally on your own, but we are watching you as you're going through each stage of the process. And we're taking little screenshots so that you can see the progress that you have made. And here's going through as you get to the end. Then you get your site installed and you have fun. It's like, oh, I want to get my badge. All right, I'm going to do the next module and get my badge. And you fill this up and then your site is completed. You get a little certificate. So here's what you're going to get in the website creation workshop. You get an online members area. Everything is stored online in the members area. There's videos, PDF handouts, step-by-step implementation guides, resources. It is a multi-sensory way of learning. Some people like to learn by reading. Some people like to watch videos. Many people like the hands-on implementation, and that is actually how it gets done. You're going to get your own practice WordPress site installed for you. You don't have to get hosting. You don't have to get a domain name. If you have a website, leave it alone. If you've got a web designer who's just charging you too much and you're trying to figure out how to get out of that relationship, just leave that alone and learn in this practice area. You can't make a mistake. Then there are 8 weeks of live training calls with me where you'll do this over the shoulder and watch me in a webinar, and I'll be talking to addressing each person in the class who has a question. We meet weekly answering questions about your business and your website. And once you complete the website creation workshop, you'll have your own 5 to 10 page or more beautiful website. Now some people only want one page, that's fine. Some people want hundreds of pages, that's fine too. And here's just some screenshots of different designs different students have done. And you will have saved thousands of dollars in web designer fees. And Daniel, I don't know if you've gotten quotes recently, but I was chatting with someone and they are a web designer. I'm like, I'm just curious, what do you charge people? And it was, to start was $5,000. Do you have any
Yeah.
kind of quotes or
well, I was
comments?
actually chatting with somebody who was going to, and I really liked their work, it was nice work, but they were going to do me a favor and give me the sort of the family rate, and it started at $3,500.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, okay.
Right. And I just want to give you a secret of why part of that is so high. And here's a secret that the designers don't tell you. It's because of all the back and forth. It's because of, did you get the copy? No, I didn't. Okay, can you send me the paragraph again? Okay, wait, I'm missing an attachment. Can you give? And all of that back and forth communication, that is why they have to charge a lot. Because oh wait, web designer, gee, can you make the toolbar green instead of blue? I know I told you blue, but I want it green. That is why they're charging so much. That is a big part of the cost. All right, let me keep going. So this is right for you if, and there's different kinds of people fall into different categories. If you don't have a website, if you have a WordPress site but don't know how to use it very well, or if you have a website and it's not WordPress and you're not very happy with it. So these are the 3 different kinds of people that it would fall into. I get a lot of people who have WordPress sites, but they keep paying every month for somebody else to make updates to it, and they want to be able to take over control. So I want to just show you some more of my student success stories. I mentioned Veronica, and then I told you about how she built that second site. So she said, Christina's class has taught me what I need to know and helped me feel confident. And so her confidence skills have gone up. This gal, Melody, I love her site, and I love her quote. She said, I built it while working a full-time job. She said, I built my site and Christina's website creation workshop while working a full 40-hour-a-week job, creating a business, seeing clients, having a husband, daughter, and grandson at home. So you can do this even if you're working full-time. Di Lemon, 70 years old, she says, before I took your website creation workshop program, she paid somebody else $18,000, and that is not unheard of. She said, then I found you and you were an efficient, joyful breath of fresh spring air. I loved your program. And yeah, she said she had paid $18,000 and didn't get anywhere with it. She said, you know, what a racket. And then she built this herself, and she was so happy and so proud. And then this is Betty Moore Hafter. She is a emotional freedom, an EFT practitioner. And she said, I love that we could get right into the lessons as soon as we signed up. So that's the way my training is. You sign up, you can get started right away. Or you can wait for the first live call if you want, but some people want to, you know, just jump in and go ahead and get started. Then what Betty Moore did, right, so she didn't intend to be a web designer, but her friends who had this dance studio liked what she had done so much, they asked her, hey, could you build a site for me? So she was able to, you know, make back some of her investment. Now, I can't say that's going to happen to everybody, but with this skill of control that she has, she was able to do this for her friends. And here's some of the other things you're going to be able to do. Quickly create web pages and blog posts and add them to your site. Add pictures and graphics to your pages and blog posts all by yourself. Add videos to your home page or sales pages or blog posts with ease. And you'll be able to have Google find your site for your keywords. Daniel, this guy, he is a pianist in Dallas. He took my website creation workshop, and he is, at the time of this screenshot, he's number 2 on the Google search results out of, you know, 1,600,000. So he was super excited about that. And
Awesome.
the big thing is making small changes immediately without having to wait for a web designer to get around to it.
Wow, that is a big thing. A
Yeah.
huge thing.
Is it
To get
just,
it right when you want it to get it right and make it look the way you want it to make it look. I had that frustration myself. So yes, this is one of the reasons why I myself went to WordPress.
yeah, and you can take back control. Like you don't have, you know, and occasionally, Daniel, there'll be situations where I'm hiring something out, you know, for whatever it is, and just, the waiting, when are they going to respond, or when are they going to get into the office Monday morning? You know, I need this to get done. I've got a deadline, you know, being able to do it yourself. This gal was running a nonprofit, the Heritage Museum. This was their old, clunky, outdated looking site, and this now is their new site. And it just looks, you know, much more appealing and pleasing to folks. And to be able to put up a brand new website anytime you want, or change an existing site. So here's Mary Bailey. She is a law of attraction coach. She came to me, she already had her website installed, but this is what it looked like. And it said, "Hello World," and she did not know what to do with it. So even though she had it set up in her web hosting account, she didn't know what to do with it. I said, "Mary, just leave it alone and take your practice site and start playing with it." And so I don't have her early phases, but here she's been playing around with it, and so she went from this design to this design, which is what her site looks like today.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
isn't that
gorgeous.
amazing? From "I don't know what to do, Christina, can you help me?" A few weeks later, this is what her site is looking like.
Yeah.
And
You
and
know, and
then
the key thing here, and this is the other thing I want folks to really understand, is that your website basically represents you, and you want that forward-facing, outward-facing uh, storefront to the world to reflect on you well. And here's a perfect example with Mary, where she did that very, very effectively.
right, and now she's selling her ebooks online as well as her coaching. And so there's her little certificate. And here's what she said. She says, "I've used web designers in the past, and it was torture waiting for the changes. Having the ability to create, change, add, edit, and design my website has been so empowering. I've used web designers in the past, it's torture waiting for them. And Christina's classes made it easy to create what you want in your own time frame and how you want it to work. I highly recommend her program." Now let me show you some extra bonuses that you get in my training. This how to create a one-page design yourself. So this design that I use on my registration page, and we'll go there in a minute, is the same design that Mary Bailey is using. She's just customizing it different. So see how different that looks? There's also a premium theme, a different theme that you're going to get as a bonus gift. I've got a bonus training selling your products and services from your website 24 hours a day. And we have a private interactive Facebook group. So what I like about having a Facebook group is in between the times of the calls, you can get in the Facebook group, chat with me, chat with the other students, share what you're doing and get feedback. So this is great for folks who live all over the globe, doesn't matter where you live. And I hate to admit it, Daniel, but I'm a little bit addicted to Facebook, so I am in that Facebook group all the time answering questions. I've got a
All the
100,
better.
all the better, yeah. It's like, I know I shouldn't be, a lot of us are nodding our heads, yeah, we shouldn't be on Facebook, but sometimes we get there. But let me tell you something about the Facebook group. If you don't know this about groups, groups are where it's at on Facebook. There's not all this other nonsense. In my group, we are there to support each other on our website buildings. There's no politics, there's no other miscellaneous stuff. It's all focused to help you achieve your goals of getting your site up. My 100% success guarantee I can fully stand behind. I'll read it to you. It says, take the entire website creation workshop, watch all the lessons, do all the assignments, add in your content, listen to the coaching calls. If after 8 weeks you don't have your own new WordPress website, simply show us your assignments, return any materials we send you, and we'll give you a 100% refund of your money. Plus this extra bonus, I'm going to teach you how to install it, but this extra bonus, Daniel, that I added, you didn't know about this from before, we're going to install it for you. So I thought,
Nice.
Daniel, I'm like, okay, how often does somebody put up a new website? It's not that often. Putting up pages, adding pictures, changing copy, that's something you do often. But installing it, you don't do it that often. So not only am I going to teach you how to do it yourself, but as a bonus for new students, We will take the work you've done in your student project, install it for you in your own
Wow.
hosting. Yeah, it's a great
So you get to,
bonus.
so let me make sure I understand what you just said, because that's actually awesome. What you, I think you said, and correct me here if I'm wrong, is you allow folks the opportunity to play and to get things exactly how they want, and and you know, with all the functionality and the look, the feel, and all of that in a completely no you know, no danger area. That you're there to catch them if they fall. There's a net, right? If
Right.
there's a problem, you're there to catch them and
Yep.
support them and fix it. And then once it's completely built out, then you bring it over, then you port it over into their website as well, and install
Yes.
it as for
Right.
them.
Yep. For
Oh
new
my
students.
gosh, that is worth it right there.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood what you were telling me.
Yep, for new websites, this is what we'll do for people building a brand new site. We'll install it for you. Yeah, because I want to see you be successful. So I've got this carrot here of, you know, get your copy done, get over perfectionism, and let's get it out. So you get those business cards made, go to those networking meetings, and feel proud of who you are, what you stand for, and get your message out into the world. You know, I want to help you let your light shine and create your website in WordPress and have fun in the process. You know, I love this little girl. She's finger painting. She's making a mess. She's not afraid. See, that's the thing, Daniel. People are afraid they're going to mess up their own sites, so it limits them. By having this practice site, I've eliminated that fear because you can't mess it up.
Right.
You can't break it, you can't mess it up. Me and my team are there if for some reason you happen to break it. You know, we're there to catch you. And by freeing yourself and by not being worried, you're going to let your creativity shine and you're going to accomplish your goals faster.
Yeah, and just sound in the knowledge that you know, if something does go wrong, which is unlikely, that you're there to catch them. I mean, that's exactly what my community needs. I love that.
Exactly. And just think about, you know, a little baby who's learning how to walk, right? The little baby like stands up, walks a couple paces, falls down. Stands up, walks a couple paces, falls down. And doesn't get judgmental about it. I want you to be able to do the same thing. Put in a photo. Uh-oh, the photo's on the wrong side. Let me move it to the other side. I want you to be free in creating and have fun while doing it. I've done it with so many hundreds of people. I know I can help you. Let me step through this breakdown because we've got a couple of other bonuses to tell you about, and we want to be able to answer some questions as well. So in the website creation workshop, there's a private online members area, 8 weeks of live group coaching, the WordPress student website practice site installed for you, that bonus on how to create a one-page design, that premium WordPress theme, that how to sell products from your website training, the private Facebook group, and that new bonus that I added this past year, which installing it on your own hosting for you. Total value of $4,509, but your investment is only, it's not 97, it's not $997, it's $897. We have 3-pay plan or a 6-pay plan. So it is very, very affordable. You know, you are not going to get a gorgeous site for $897. You're just not. And here's the thing, Daniel. I'll teach them how to build a site, and then they can build 2, 3, 4, however many sites that they want.
Right, right. Which, you know, that's a really important thing. But before I want to talk about that. Where do folks go to grab this?
Okay, well, next in my, we go to, and Joanna, if you could put it in the chat,
Oh yeah, it's in the chat right now.
DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal. I do have a slide for that, but I wanted to let them know, and you know what, I can just go there now and then we can come back and you'll tell them about the bonuses from you.
Oh yeah.
So here we are. If you go to that link,
DanielHallPresents.com
right,
/WP deal.
right, DanielHallPresents.com /WP deal. It will redirect and then you'll be on my site, and here this is that one page site, and we have a coupon. So let me scroll to the bottom. So all the things I talked about, there's that gal. Scroll to the bottom and you will see these other bonuses, and I've got an extra bonus that was not in the PowerPoint. Somehow that didn't get in there, but I've got this new program I'm coming out with in February. Anybody who signs up for this will get that extra program, which is on creating graphics yourself. So I'm going to teach you how to build a website yourself, plus I've got this how to create your own graphics yourself, even if you're not an artist. And let's come down here. There's my guarantee. I've got a little montage in here. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but it's different sites that different ones of my students have created over the years, and you just see a nice wide variety. All right, let me keep going to the bottom. And this kind of design, how I made that, that's included with this course. So here we are down here. We've got a coupon, Daniel Deal, and let me just explain to you how you would get that. It's for the pay in full only, or we have the payment plans. So you click on $9.97 enroll now, but that's not what you're going to pay. Type in Daniel Deal, and you can put upper or lower class, click apply, and you see that the discounts have been applied, and so it's only $8.97. Daniel had asked me to make a special extra deal for everybody, and so we took $100 off. But you'll only get that going through following that DanielHallPresents.com /WP deal, and that will get you to the registration page. And then, you know, if you forget what the coupon is, we've embedded it in here, Daniel, to make it
Nice.
easy for folks.
Okay.
All right, can I go back and we can tell them about the bonuses that you have put in?
Right.
So aside from all these things I'm giving you, these are a couple extra bonuses from Daniel. So we've got 2 of them. So here's bonus number 1. Daniel, I'll let you explain.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a big proponent of you building your email list. I mean, we have literally hundreds of people here, and I bet you dollars to donuts that you are here because you got an email from me. You responded to an email from me. That's because I, from the very beginning, started to build an email list, which has become substantial over time. And in this training, my Real Fast Email Marketing training, I step you through the process of how I did it, and more importantly, how you can do it. You have a brand new website. You know, it looks great. Hey, let's use it to start creating raving fans of you. And you do that by getting people's name and email address and communicating with them, building a bond with them, adding value to their lives, okay? And again, we cover all of that within Real Fast Email Marketing, which I am throwing into this deal as well. It regularly sells for $197, but you will get it free. And not only that, I want to talk about the next slide. I believe we have another slide in here.
Yep.
That I want you to use your website to earn money, okay? And one great way to do that is with a continuity program or a reoccurring income type program, the best way that I've learned to do that is through fixed term memberships. And essentially, so that we're all on the same page, you sell a fixed term, maybe 12 months or 6 months or longer, but the people in your program only pay during those months. And that's it. And these are much easier to sell. But yet they create a nice reoccurring income for yourself. So you're going to get that as well with this particular program. Okay? So the place to go to grab this very special deal is at DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal. That link is in your chat. Of course, it's also on your screen. You can go directly to your browser and open up a browser and just type that in, DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal. And I mean, we've tried to make this a very compelling, very attractive deal for you. And I just know, because this is either the third or the fourth year that I've brought Christina back. Every time I hear rave reviews of the people that have gone through her training. They love they love the end product, and they love that feeling of safety of learning this in a non-judgmental, easy, and fun way to do it. So again, there it is, DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal. By the way, the coupon code is only available for the one-pay option. It will bring down the price from $9.97 to $8.97.
Right. So you're saving extra money. So and then here I just have on the screen, which I'd already demoed, you know, how do you get the coupon activated? You type it in, you click apply, you'll see in green it will update and it'll give you that amount. The coupon only works on the full pay. So should we go to some questions?
Let's do.
All right, so let's see. Do you want Joanna to read the questions, Daniel? We have we've been flagging the good ones in green.
Yeah, you could. We could have Joanna, and I could jump in as well.
Or do you want to go ahead and read them?
Yeah, let's have Joanna do it.
Okay, Joanna, can you start reading us some of the questions? Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to. Someone had asked, you know, there was one question I had seen in there. Someone had asked the time frame. So the way this program works is you have a year to go through it, but in order to help you kind of get off on the right foot, I've got these 8 weeks of live coaching calls to get you jump started. So you've got that and the Facebook group to get you jump started into doing this on yourself. And my goal is to empower you to be able to know how to find things and not have to wait around, not only for somebody else, but for some answers. And so that's why we've got these live coaching calls to get you jump started. But I know that life happens, and so it's a year-long program.
Yep.
Okay, Shirley was asking, in the course, can I work on my own pace?
Yes, you can go at your own pace. You do not have to. Some people want to be done faster than 8 weeks. Some people want to take longer than 8 weeks. So you can go at your own pace. And remember, we'll install it for you. You have a whole year to be, you know, ready with your site and ready to go live. Now, I say a year, you know, some people in a few weeks, they're done, they want their site installed. So it all depends upon you. You can go at your own pace.
Yeah, I just want to do a follow-up question here on this question, and that is with the Facebook group, right? if you get in, like you can essentially be in moments from right now and actually start the training very, very quickly, and you don't actually even have to wait for your for the training calls or the coaching calls to get
No,
answers to questions. They could basically start getting answers to questions today. I mean,
exactly.
if yeah, so there's just lots of different ways, right, to reach out and get your questions answered, right, Christina?
Absolutely. I mean, let me just get a, quick glance. We've already got people, I've already got some people who've jumped in and they're getting started. So again, it's at your own pace. You don't have to wait. You can start immediately if you want. Some people want to wait. Some people are happy to hear, ooh, I can start right away. Other people are like, I just want to wait a few weeks for whatever reason. So yeah, it's go at your own pace.
Lovely.
All right, Joanna,
Okay.
next question.
Yes. Sadie was asking, does WordPress.org limit the number of pages that you can have?
No, there is a pretty much an unlimited number. And I remember hearing at one point, I didn't write it down, someone asked that to the head of WordPress, and he said, theoretically, there is no limit. But I know some other website building packages puts limits on, but there's no limits to the number of pages or posts that you can have.
Okay. Don says, after you created your website and blog, how much time per week do you have to spend keeping it up to date? He has some friends that spend more time on their web and blog than they do on creating new products.
That's up to you. If you want to noodle with your site a lot, you can, but you do not have to. So it depends. If nothing has changed, you can leave your site as is. I mean, I'll encourage you to have a blog, or I also like to call it a newsletter, so that you can, be adding content to your site, because the search engines like that, but you don't have to be working on it all the time. If nothing's changed, then nothing has changed.
Right.
Okay. Margaret was asking, can you put a shopping cart in a WordPress site?
Yes, and that's one of the bonuses. Let me scroll up. There's a bonus training on selling from your website. So yeah, you can add a shopping cart.
By the way, this is how I first was introduced to Christina for this very thing, so that I could learn how to do this thing, and I'm very proud to say actually that has resulted in millions of dollars of sales in however many years it's been now. It's been
Very cool.
yeah, this is a really, if you're serious, okay, it could be a real game changer, just this one bonus.
Right. I mean, that's how you're going to get leverage, is selling things from your site. So
And selling things in your sleep.
and selling things in your sleep. Absolutely. Okay, next question.
Okay, Nancy says, so if I already have a WordPress site hosted with GoDaddy, will you help me transfer my work to that site?
So if you're using one of GoDaddy's products, like Website Tonight, I forget what they call it. I've had a lot of students do that. So yeah, I will encourage you to sort of leave that alone and then look at what you have in your old site and then copy it into your practice site, basically rebuilding it as a WordPress site. Let me see if I have that. No, I thought I had a screenshot example. But yes, that's very common that my students do. Or I'll come down here to the bottom. Okay, next question. I know we have a lot of questions.
Yes,
And
John was asking.
let me just reiterate where to go to, which is DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal. And remember, you get the $100 off when you use the coupon Daniel Deal. Okay, so let's go to the next question.
Okay, John says about media, how do we know if our images are good enough to work in a website?
How do you know if your images are good enough to work in a website? Uh, it's a personal preference. If you like the way your images look, then they're good enough. I'm not really clear on the question.
Sometimes, if I might, sometimes it's actually the opposite problem that you will run into. You'll have a image that maybe you took with your DSL
Uh-huh.
or it's just a huge image, and you try to import it into your site, and because it's such a big
It's
file,
too big.
actually it slows down your
Yes.
file.
Okay.
So that's generally the problem. But other than that, if you open up the image in your computer and you look at it on your monitor and you like it on your monitor, well, it's going to be the same display on the website. So if you like it in your monitor on your computer, it's going to be great on your website as well.
Yeah, and I think I can show that. Let's go back to this About Us page. When I first put this picture in, let me add it again, coming in to add media, it was kind of big, it was too big. Let's see, I think that shrunk it down. Hold on. Yeah, the original full size, was too big. So sometimes, this is not a giant one, but sometimes things are too big, and then you can click on the photo and click and drag and make it smaller. The other thing that WordPress does, a little bit of extra training, is it creates a thumbnail and a medium size for you, and then sometimes it gives one more size. But that Daniel is absolutely correct that you want to not have these giant 4,000 pixel wide images. You want to have an image that will fit into the space. So here's just two examples of the same one. Okay, next. And then John, I guess his clarification is the quality high enough. Just use your eyes if it looks good. I don't have an example, but if your image is too tiny and it'll become blurry when it scales up. I don't have an example of that. But let me just again reiterate where to go and how to get this deal. DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal, and that is how you're going to get all my bonuses plus Daniel's 2 bonuses.
Okay, we had a question from KP. They were asking, what if you already have a theme? Can you use that theme rather than the theme in your package?
Yes, you can use any theme, and that's quite common. People will come with their own theme designs that they had from before. So yeah, you don't have to use my themes.
Okay. Don says, if the only product you have at the moment is a book, is the expense of a web, a blog, etc. worth the cost?
If the only product you have is a book, absolutely. I'm going to answer this and then I'll turn this over to Daniel, because as I mentioned earlier, as an author, your publishers want to see that you are serious and in business. And do you remember the name of that site that author made recently? It was last summer. Joanna, do you remember the name of it?
Was it SB Alexander?
Yeah, sbalexander.com. So here's one of my students. Here's all her books. And, publishers want to know that you are serious and you're a serious author and you are marketing the book. They don't want to be the ones marketing the book. They want you to be able to market your book. So you don't have to sell from your site, but you need to have a presence. Your presence online shows the world, this is who I am, and I am serious about my business, my cause, my nonprofit, etc. So yes, I would say, and I don't know, I know Daniel, you work with authors a lot. I don't know if you have any comments about
I
authors
do
having
indeed.
websites.
Um, you know, the really crucial thing that everyone should understand is that it really kind of comes down to, are you going to be a hobbyist, okay, or are you going to be serious? Because if you're a hobbyist, then quite frankly, I'm not sure why you're here. But
Right.
if you're serious, I'm going to assume that you are, then you definitely 100% not even have to think about it. You must have a website. You must have a website. Now, you don't have to go through this program. You figure out you could pay thousands of dollars to somebody else to make it for you, but you definitely have to have your own website. It's like a storefront to the world, because your job as an author, the way I see it anyway, is you want to create raving fans of you and your work. And the best way that I know to do this is, and Christina said this during her presentation, is to bring people from all the other parties going on out there and bring them into your party, into
Right.
your site, which is what you could do with this, right? So I hope that's responsive to the question, and that is my, yeah, there you go.
And
All that other activity, you want to send it towards your site.
exactly. And I want to welcome Sadie. Welcome to the program. Sadie got the discount, those bonuses from me and the 2 bonuses from Daniel. So Sadie, my team will be getting a hold with you soon, within the next day or two, getting your practice site set up and getting you sort of oriented and rolling with your website building. So congratulations to you. And you know, Daniel, I know we've been on for over an hour and a half, but I just thought of one other bonus I'd like to give people.
Oh,
And they
nice.
won't see it here on the sales letter, and it's not in the presentation that I did. Let me just get to the right page so people know where to go. I want to give everyone who signs up, so not only are you going to get the group coaching calls with me, but I want to give you, and Sadie, if you're listening still, you'll get this as well, everyone who signs up a 30-minute consultation. So if you're listening to me, you won't see this in an email. I want to be able to give you a 30-minute private consultation. I want you to let me show you what to do. And if you've already signed up and you didn't write it on your order form, that's okay. So you're going to want to first write in Daniel Deal and hit apply. And then when you fill out your form, you can pay with credit card, or we do take PayPal on the full pay. Write in, I want the extra 30-minute private call with Christina. And Joanna, mark down whoever had already purchased. I know I can't see all the orders, but put that in the comments, and we will get you that extra private consultation with me. So that is an
Thank you.
extra bonus.
By the way, I should say that there have been several times when I've broken my my WordPress site, and I've had to take Christina up on that offer, and and she's helped me out a couple different times through the years. Damn nice to have. Damn nice to have.
Yep, yep. Let's see, there was a question about WordPress.org. Is there a monthly fee? So in my classes, the training and all the bonuses and your practice site, when you get your own, when you put your site in your own hosting, there is a small fee to host it yourself. So to start out with one of the packages I recommend, it's like $50 for the first year, and then it's like $100 a year. So it's really not a lot of money to have your own website. And I teach people in my class, you know, here's hosting. You know, Daniel, I once spoke to this woman, and she opened a hosting account. She said she paid $500. I'm like, $500? No, no, no. It shouldn't cost you that. So this is what I do. I help guide people um, to sort of, yes, get this, it's good. No, you don't need that. You can get that later. Let me go to, there's another place I want to show you is my members area. So let me go into, so once you sign up, you'll pick your own username and password, and then you'll get into the training area. And it's all very well organized and laid out. So for example, here's Module 1. You've got goals for Module 1, little assignments. Then there's a sort of big picture overview. I like to start with the big picture overview of what you're trying to accomplish. And then also we have in my members area a place for you to leave little personal notes for yourself. So as you're working through the course, you can leave little notes of like, yeah, I watched this video. And then down here there's a place for you to submit, and then once you finish a module, we will look at your work and take screenshots. And so we track people. Let me go back to Veronica
Oh
so
my
I can
gosh,
kind of
that's awesome.
explain this. Yeah, I don't know anybody else who does this kind of.
I don't either. I mean, I'm trying to think of, wow, that would be something great for me to try to implement. I think a lot of people need that.
Yeah, it's tracking people, and it costs me because my team is checking your work and seeing if you did things and then showing me, and so I'm looking at everybody's work as they're going through the course, and so you can see this kind of evolution of where of how Veronica went through the course. And so that is a huge benefit. You're not just sort of hanging out there, is that I'm there with my team to walk you through this process. All right, let's see what other questions we have.
Okay, we had a couple people ask, looks like Janie and Shirley, they were wondering how long this offer will be available.
I think, Daniel, we said it was going to be up until Monday night, I believe.
That's right, Monday at midnight Pacific time.
Right. And that's when the coupon will go away, Daniel's bonuses will go away, that extra 30-minute consult with me will go away. So I want to help you. It's the beginning of the year. Jump in, take action, and get your site built that you've been waiting to get built. Or just finally say, okay, I've had it with that webmaster. I'm ready to be doing this myself.
Okay, Tom was asking, can a WordPress.com site be moved over to WordPress.org?
Absolutely. I've had lots of students who wanted a more professional site, and I've got training on how to help you move that over. So yes, you can do that.
Okay, Ron was asking if you will teach us how to do the one-page design with Parallax.
Yes, that is, you can see when you go to the Daniel deal, so let's get the link, DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal. You will get to this page that I've been showing, and if you scroll down, oops, up here in the bonuses, there is a bonus training on one-page site design. So how to make this one-page design, and this design includes Parallax.
By the way, let me just say, just so that folks completely understand, what we keep saying one-page design, but I suspect some people don't understand the significance of why we're saying that, and I want to kind of illuminate this. The reason why knowing how to do a one-page design is so crucial, especially if you have a book, if you have a course, if you have a coaching package, if you've got a training package, if you've got some physical product where that's the only thing that you're selling, that one thing, right? Now, you might have other things you're selling, but you want to focus your marketing efforts on the sale of that one thing. You would set up a one-page website for that one product. I mean, that one page, that front page, basically is where you have your sales message that helps to sell that one thing. And there's really only, usually on a one-page site, there's two decisions that people can make. Either they buy or they don't. Okay? Versus if you go to a site with lots of different pages where you want people to buy stuff, but they get distracted. They're clicking your About Me page, and they're clicking your blog post. You know, they're here, they're there, they're everywhere, and most of the time they get lost and never get to take the action that you really want them to take, which is to buy your product. That's why having and knowing how to do a one-page website is so doggone important, because anytime that you have an idea for a product, a new course, for example, or a new book, or a new audiobook, or whatever it is, you can, again, using the information and the knowledge that you're going to gain from this training, you can will buy another URL, another website, essentially, install WordPress, and put up your one-page site. Type it all out, and you're good to go. And if you look closely, okay, at my sites, the vast majority of, and I have hundreds of them, the vast majority of them are single-page websites selling something. Okay,
Right.
there's some sales copy with a buy button on it. So really, really important if that's what you want to do. Okay.
And that's what I'm doing here on this registration page. So this registration page is a single page, oh, I zoomed in, is a single page site, you know, and I also have a blog, but it's keeping people focused. I'm offering one thing. Let me scroll to the bottom. There may be 3 different payment plans, right, to accommodate people's budget, but it is just one thing. All right, let's go to some more questions here. I think a bunch of these already got answered. So yeah, Joanna, why don't you read?
Sure. Don was asking, do you show how to add videos to the website?
Yes, I have in the extras area, I have a whole module on adding audio and video to your site. And they don't have to be your own videos, they can be other people's videos.
Okay. And then we had a question here, how do you know which WordPress theme is mobile responsive?
They will often say, so let me go into you know, and I love that people are still on here. You know, I like to do this thing like Daniel, you know when you go to the movies and most people leave through the credits? Like I sit through all the credits because there's often little surprises at the end.
There's
So
little Easter eggs.
yeah, little Easter eggs. So, you know, continuing to do demos. No, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to themes, add new. And you can look at the different themes and they'll usually say if they're mobily responsive or not in the description, but feature filter, there should be one for responsive here, although I think now most of them are responsive, but here is, let me go to Christina's resources. Is it mobile? So christinasresources.com/is it mobile will take you to this place and you can put in a site, and I haven't tested this, so let's just see what happens. And it will show you what her site looks like.
Gorgeous.
and mobile. So most themes will say if it's mobile or not, but see how it's adjusting to the site, and here it is large. So I can also put my registration page in there, and so that's how you tell. Christina'sResources.com/is it mobile.
Yeah, and you see, folks, how this is, if you're on a phone that size, how you could still read everything, right?
Right.
You don't have to pinch and grab, and
Right.
it's just it just takes it and shrinks it all down.
Right, and so this will show you. So, these are the things that I help guide you with in my training. And again, I've been teaching this for 10 years now. So this isn't some fly-by-night, some marketer who's like, hey, I think I'll make a buck and I'll throw a course together and it's really not very good.
No, this is what you do, Christina.
And I've been doing it for 10 years, and I have so many, like on here, I've got this, and this isn't even all of my students, but you can play this video, so it's a video embedded in, and it just shows you just all the different styles, artists, musicians, healers, spiritual folks, dance studio, health and wellness coaches. Here's another jewelry maker. I mean, all different. You'll get inspired. Just go there and look and click on that video and you'll be inspired.
Okay, I know Nancy had a question earlier about she has hosting at GoDaddy and would be able to move her student project over once she's finished. So she typed in a follow-up. She has WordPress business managed site hosted with GoDaddy, so it's not per se a GoDaddy product. It is WordPress. So would we be able to move her student project over to that hosting on GoDaddy when she's finished?
Yes.
Okay.
She'd be able to stay with that.
Okay, and then Tony was asking, does the training cover more than just the single page design?
Oh yeah, so absolutely. I'll teach you don't have to have a single page design if that's not something you want to do. So, I'm just doing this off of memory. Here's Kelly Cooper Slayton. I mean, we've got people with all kinds of designs and styles, so you don't have to do that. That's just an extra bonus. It's just an extra bonus.
Okay. We had a question here from Web Emmett. They said, if I use this to revise my ugly site, what do I do about the present links in the menu? How do I make new links of the new site that work like the old links worked?
That's something that you'll be able to update. I'm going to teach you how to update links. So that's something that you would be able to do.
Okay.
And again, I wanted to just stress here that you would be able to do that in the practice site first to make sure it's all working, that you're happy with it before you move it over. Exactly.
That's the benefit of the practice site.
Yeah, and not only that, but the net. Right. you're not walking the trapeze without a net. You're safe.
Right. Right. And also don't forget the extra bonuses from Daniel as well. And just want to reiterate that this package that we've put together is limited time. It's going to close on Monday night. But the first people who get in get their student project set up right away. So the sooner you get in, you could start, what is today? Yeah, you could start this weekend if you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to, and if you've got a question, just type it into the chat and we will get to them.
Okay, Don says, if you have absolutely no experience in social media and have no lists, can you teach us how to get viewers?
This isn't a social media training, but it sort of just happens naturally as I go through this course. I talk about sort of ways to, and it's not a traffic building site, so it is a website building site. But in the process, I talk about how to get, I give you ideas. See, here's the thing. Let me go to the, I'm going to go to the registration page. This is why I have the live coaching calls, because you can come on to them live, these live interactive webinars, and ask me your question, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. So it's not one size fits all. So if you come to live coaching calls and you're like, I want help or I want ideas on getting traffic, I will tell it to you. So everybody's different. This is why I have the live coaching calls, and it's a great motivator. It's a, hey, okay, the next call is in about 5 days. I want to get this, this, and this done this weekend so I can bring it to Christina and she can help me take it to the next step.
Christina?
Yes?
Can I share a story with you that I think actually addresses this question on eyeballs and traffic and social media? And that is, I just kind of wanted to share what happened to me in the way I view this skill that you're developing with the website creation workshop. And this is very, very much a foundational skill to doing a lot of those other things. In other words, being able to, being conversant and building traffic and being good with social media and all that. I hate to say it, but you have to have a minimum level of computer savvy in order to make any of that fly anyway. Okay, and what this training does is it gets you up to speed so that when you go to perhaps take another training from somebody else, you know what the heck they're talking about. You're conversant. You know how to take the steps. This is very, very much a primer for folks that just are their computer knowledge, their tech skills are shaky. They don't know what to do to make some of these things happen, some of this magic happen. But when you go through a course like Christina's here, you build that foundational knowledge base that then you can build on to do a lot of these other things. But it's kind of like trying to put the windows in a second-story house when you haven't yet laid the foundation, if that makes sense.
Well, I had this gal, it totally makes sense. I had this gal who took my course, and the empowerment she got from website building encouraged her to quit her full-time job. And she was so ecstatic. She's like, wow, I'm feeling better about myself. I'm learning how to do things myself. I'm feeling empowered, and she quit her job, which is something that she was wanting to do. So you sort of build these muscles up, and then you can do anything, which is true. You can do anything. And that's why I call this a coaching program, because I'm helping coach you from where you are at, whatever help you need with. And I like the vehicle of building a website, because building a website, then at the end of the program, you've got something to show for. It's not just a bunch of marketing theory. It's you've got a website that you can be proud of. Mm-hmm. And so, I walk you through all the steps. I make it really easy. Or maybe I zoomed that in a little bit too much. I make it really easy for you. And I know we didn't talk about it that much because I didn't get it into the PowerPoint. This, not only are you going to learn how to build a website, but you're going to learn how to make your own graphics yourself without being a designer. So that is another bonus. Plus, if you want selling from your website, plus that interactive Facebook group, plus and it's not on the sales letter, we'll install it for you. So I'll teach you how to install, plus we will install it for you. Plus all of the hand holding of, in your practice site, watching you, looking at your work, your creation as you're going along, and then at the end I'll teach you how to do it, because you're going to be building more than one site probably, but then also my team will do it for you.
Okay. So we've been going here for almost 2 hours. So if you're seriously considering this and if you have not yet taken action, then this is your opportunity right now, because we're going to be closing up shop here very, very soon, to get your questions into the chat, because we want to address your concerns, your questions. Because in the final analysis, we only want to work with students that this program is right for. So if you have additional questions, go ahead and get them in the chat now. If you've made the decision to go ahead and grab this very special deal, and it truly is a very, very good deal for somebody that has no website or is not happy with their website or doesn't know how to build their own website. If that describes you, I would run, not walk, over to DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal, and if you choose the one-pay option, use that coupon code DanielDeal and hit the apply button. It'll take $100 off instantly, and in addition to that, this deal is only going to be available for a very limited time. As a matter of fact, probably if you're watching this on a replay, for example, or if you try to watch it later on a replay, you'll probably see a countdown timer. When that countdown timer ticks down to 0, the deal is done. So head on over right now to DanielHallPresents.com/WP deal right now. And Christina, I'll turn it over to you for closing remarks.
Okay. So as you've seen today, I've walked you through the different aspects of building a website. I did some demos. We put together an awesome package for you to be able to get your website built in WordPress, not have to pay others. Daniel's got his extra 2 bonuses. I've got my extra 30-minute consult, which you won't see written anywhere. It's only for people listening to this call. I'm going to encourage you, it's the beginning of the year, let me help you get over your perfectionism, your fear of technology, and let me help you get your message out into the world with WordPress. Let me just show this as the final slide. We've got that extra coupon Daniel deal. There are 3 different payment plans. I hope you join me. And again, my name is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop. Thank you, Daniel, for inviting me to your community. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.